Yeah, it's very anime, right, to have a random animal.
Just going in the background. Hold on, I can get a random animal.
Okay.
Well, bam.
Oh, look at that. Right on your shoulder. What kind
This
of...
is Piss Girl. This is a gargoyle gecko.
Uh-huh.
Named Piss Girl? Did you
Yeah,
name her Piss Girl?
I did.
Good.
So this gecko gargoyle gecko is on Julian's shoulder. And this is Occult Confessions.
I forgot we were rolling already.
Oh, beautiful
Occult
day.
Confessions is brought to you commercial free through the generous support of our gecko. Visit occultconfessions.com and click on donate to help keep the history of the occult on the digital airwaves.
Do it for Piss Girl.
Do it for Piss Girl.
Piss Girl. Is it fair to call Japan's happy science, a new religious movement that overlapped and competed with Shoko Asahara's notorious Aum Shinrikyo, a cult? I'll pull that together. Is it fair to call Japan's happy science a cult? We don't love the word cult here on this show, which is fairly common among religious studies scholars like yours truly. The way it's used in popular culture denotes a new religious movement with a distinctly negative impact on its followers, depriving them of personal agency and taking all their money. But these lines are blurry. The popular prosperity gospel preached by American megachurches could be seen to match the definition I just gave, although these churches look nothing like the stereotypical cult we've come to associate with Heaven's Gate, the Branch Davidians, or Aum Shinrikyo. And the cult status of these new religious movements could itself be debated. So, when I ask if happy science is a cult, I suppose I'm mostly asking if it's harmful. Their baseball arena rituals and anime movies set them apart. But their interest in Nichiren Buddhism, program for self-reflection, and New Age channeling were not uncommon in Japan or even in the United States. Maybe not the Buddhism. And none of these things were necessarily damaging to the people who chose to believe in them. And far from fleecing members in the tradition of something like Scientology, Happy Science was inclined to actually discount membership in order to swell its ranks. It was, after all, just meant to be the science of happiness, so what could be so dangerous about that? I'm not sure I have the answer, but we're certainly going to explore the question today on Occult Confessions. My name is Dr. Rob C. Thompson. Joining us with the reptile on his shoulder is Julian Dobbs. Julian, what's up?
Hello.
Julian
Happy
introduced
to be
me
here.
to this topic.
I did.
You're
I've
a
been
big
begging
fan?
for it for a while.
You're a fanboy of Happy Science.
I think literally when you told me that, like, yeah, I have this podcast where I talk about occult stuff, I was like, oh, you need to do Happy Science.
And here we are 2 years later.
Here we are.
Andrew Mims is here, our anime man.
Greetings and salutations. I am deeply interested in the discount part of this cult.
Mims wants a bargain.
Oh, you can get like emails from them from free. They'll send you like a little poem every day.
And I think YouTube does have most of their movies. That's where I watched.
Yeah.
There's at least 3 of them up there, I think.
There's like 5.
Let's pledge it out. Mims, how about that? So free.
My favorite.
We, the members of the secret order of alchemical actors, do solemnly commit ourselves to a full and honest telling of the history of the occult
as far as we know it.
Happy Science was founded in October 1986 by Okawa Ryuho. Have I got that right, Julian? Does that sound right to you?
Yeah, that sounds about right, yeah.
Okay. We don't hear his name very often, I guess.
No, they just call him
El Cantare.
like the El Cantare, yeah. Or
So-
just the god, the light.
The light. My man was a reincarnation of the Buddha, according to himself. He was born on the... Like, who else is going to say that, though?
Yeah, no, he was just like, I'm Buddha.
Yeah. He was born
Whatever.
on July 7th. Today's the 1st of July, and this episode is going to post actually very close to his birthday.
Hey, happy
wild.
birthday.
Happy birthday, Okawa. He's dead now, but happy
Yeah.
birthday.
Rest in peace.
So this episode is going to post on the 10th, so just a few days, and America's turning 250. Boy, what an exciting time to be alive.
What a day. And the World Cup.
Day. I'm heading to the White House to wrestle. I don't know about you guys. So... Yes.
You're going to wrestle with him.
Whatever I can find. Just gonna do some wrestling.
Just a random guy on the street.
I'll just be like, this is for America. And
No,
Japan.
that's the only way to celebrate.
This is for the happy science of America. So he was born on July 7th. The year was 1956. We were in Shikoku. We're not going to stay there for long, of course. You got to go to Tokyo. His parents named him Nakagawa Takashi, and he created his holy name. We're going to do some nerdy Japanese letters for a second, some kanji, by changing the first character of his name from the kanji for middle to the kanji for great, and then adding the character for dharma. So that's how he came up with Okawa Ryuho. I guess that would be the katakana, or the transliteration now. So not a natural academic. I probably said all that wrong. Not a natural academic.
It's close enough.
Yeah, I've learned like 50 Japanese characters, so I can say random stuff.
You're close.
So
Good enough.
I don't know the character for Dharma. He's not a natural academic, so my man Okawa studied late into the night to reach the top of his class. A lover of food, he took on the body type of a sumo wrestler, but being unathletic, failed the physical examination to become one. So he just liked to eat, I think, and one day somebody was like, hey, you should
You
try
actually
out.
have to be strong.
Yes, you should try out for sumo. And he was like, okay.
He also wanted to try to wrestle, but
Right.
Yeah, he couldn't.
they didn't let him.
Didn't make the cut. Yeah, you're right, Julian. You have to, there's a physical conditioning that's really quite difficult to maintain, right? To be a sumo wrestler.
They have to consume a lot of calories.
Yeah, and correctly.
Yeah,
no,
it's got to be like the correct amount of protein and carbs.
Yeah,
They're
Mem's
friggin'
always
strong.
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 He failed on his first attempt to get into Tokyo University, but was admitted a year later, and he modeled his college life after the philosopher Immanuel Kant, making time in the afternoon to walk, write poetry, and reflect on his day, and time in the evening to buy books and read. Pretty serious dude. Probably not very popular with the ladies. By the time of
No, doesn't seem it.
No, by the time of his graduation in 81, he lacked the grades to get into graduate school and went to work for Toman. On the 23rd of March, just before starting his job, he was struck by a sudden bout of automatic writing in which Saint Nico, as the writing called itself, guided his hand to write the words "good news" over and over again. All work and no play makes good news a dull boy. It was happy science from then on, also known as Kofuku no Kagaku, or the Science of Happiness, or the Institute for Research in Human Happiness. All of those are just
Are the
fine.
names.
Yeah,
It just sounds lovely.
doesn't it?
It is. It sounds like a lovely time.
Happy science, not that angry science we're so used
No,
to.
no.
That bitter, resentful science. This is happy science. Yeah, so what do I want to say about this? I mean, just to pause for a second, like the year is 1981. I think if it were me, I would do anything to get out of becoming a Japanese Sorariman in 1981. It's going to be a tough
It was
life.
a bad time.
Yeah, unless you're Shigeru Miyamoto and you're going to invent Mario, stay out of
Yeah,
the
no,
corporation.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you were going to work. I mean, the reason we're saying this is because you were going to work like a dog. Like these guys worked 10, 15-hour days.
There were no like employee right laws at the time. Like they just worked you until you were dead.
That was the culture. Yeah, that was just how you were. And you know, some of my favorite video game characters were invented by guys who were sleeping in the office.
Yeah.
So, still wildly creative, remarkable people. And you can see, even in Okawa's like upbringing, right? He's trying to like have this very structured life to become, you know, this perfect Sorariman sort of character. But at the last moment, suddenly his subconscious like wigs out, and he starts this automatic writing and goes in a different direction.
I'd do the same thing, honestly. I mean,
Yeah. If I was an 80 salaryman, I'd just be like,
Yes, let's get out of here. So who is Saint Nico? Is the question. So this is the spirit, right? Riding through him. Saint Nico, real historical character. Nico was a student of the medieval monk Nichiren, founder of Nichiren Buddhism, which focused on the power of the Lotus Sutra. See our last episode for some lore on the Lotus Sutra. Nichiren taught that the recitation of the name of the Lotus Sutra would lead to enlightenment here in this life. Not entirely unlike the teachings of Honen and Shinran. See our episode on Shin Buddhism also this season. It's a great culmination of so many things. In fact, Nichiren said that the spread of his teaching about the Lotus Sutra would lead to the creation of a Pure Land here on Earth. But Nichiren preached against Honen and his Nembutsu, arguing that the population had fallen spiritually, and this precipitated a series of natural disasters and other calamities to befall people. So if you chant the Nembutsu, you're going to cause the apocalypse. But if you chant this phrase about the Lotus Sutra, you're going to be just fine.
I hope they're not similar in any way.
Yeah, no, that's...
It's like one character off.
Yeah.
You mess up that one character, you're done.
Just you slip up and just you
well.
explode.
It's so rare in history that you see like people from rival religions arguing, right? Taoism and Buddhism in China. Like there's rare instances for the most part, but the Christians among each other, right? There's all kinds of...
They hate each other.
Yeah. The closer your beliefs are, the more animosity there is. So Nichiren suffered the same fate as Honen and Shinran, being exiled twice when the people rose up against his teachings on the Lotus Sutra. The second time followed an argument with the Shingon Buddhists, Ryokan, yet another episode this season, during the impending and ultimately failed invasion by the Mongols. Nikko was one of 6 senior disciples to Nichiren and is credited with founding several sects of Nichiren Buddhism. Not one, but a few.
Several.
Yeah. Okay, you guys are set up. All right,
Yep,
well now...
all right, I'm going to go.
If you want to believe something else, I'm going to go over there.
Just follow me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, was there, like, did he have, like, people that, like, followed him through each one? Or
I'm
just,
going to
like...
guess, yeah, like different
probably.
guys. Nikko, like Shinran, accompanied his master on his exile, and he kept the most thorough records of the founding of Nichiren Buddhism and taught that Nichiren himself was the true and eternal Buddha. Nikko wrote that over time, Nichiren's other disciples neglected to preserve his grave and strayed from his teachings, marking Nikko as the one true inheritor of Nichiren's legacy. So when I die, now you guys know what you have to do to inherit my legacy.
I got you.
There you go.
We got it.
Don't stray from my grave.
No,
Preserve it.
I can't. I will preserve it.
Thank you. You'll be good to go then.
Yeah,
We
I'll
can
be
trust
great.
you.
I can be trusted with Rob's
You can
legacy.
be trusted with your grave.
Who's tending the grave? Okay. So, back to Okawa. Nikko communicated with Okawa Ryuho for a week. And then the man himself, Nichiren, came through, communicating... got to the big guy.
Wow.
Communicating a message of love that became the core of Okawa's ministry. I'm quoting here. Love others, nurture others, forgive others. So far, so good, right?
Yeah, no, that seems like...
that's really nice.
Yeah, that's good shit.
We can do that. The next spiritual messenger he mediated was a guy I'm very interested in. I didn't have... he's a little bit hard to research in English, but his name is Shinji Takahashi. He was the founder of his own new religious movement in the 1970s called the GLA, or the God Light Association. So he's dead at this point in the 80s, and Okawa is channeling him. That's how we hear about this guy. So Shinji Takahashi, maybe the Evangelion connection memes. That's why I like him as well. He's got the first name, but
He's got the name.
he's
Yeah.
got the name. He had encountered his own soul one day, and he was like, "Oh wow, that's weird.
That's my soul.
That's my soul."
I'd be pretty astounded.
Be weird out, yeah.
So he starts a religion. So it's a lot of people starting religions. Maybe it's the point I'm trying to make in the 70s.
Yeah, I was about
and
to
the
say,
80s.
there seems to be a lot of that about.
Yeah. I mean, it's also happening in America, right? Like channeling and all this sort of stuff. New religious movements are just running rampant.
Yeah. Wiccan's starting to get a hold.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's all about the 70s. I think what's fascinating is that, we're used to this when we talk about America and Europe, but it's also happening in Japan. Like, fun fact, the Japanese are doing this too. So the God Light Association is a fairly straightforward group in my mind, teaching that humans have a soul and a purpose in this life, and that they must discover that purpose, and that the universe is permeated by God. It's really not too much more complicated than that.
That seems pretty cut and dry.
Sounds simple.
Takahashi taught that no belief system should be based on blind faith, and that all religions should stand up to a healthy amount of doubt. This is very occult confessions.
Mm-hmm.
He spent a great deal of time self-reflecting after preaching. I love this, to be sure that he hadn't said anything wrong. So he would preach for a while, and then he'd go sit down quietly and think about it. Did I say the right thing?
That's a sweet gesture of like, I don't want to get this wrong.
Humility, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude's an anxious king.
He is. Good thing I don't do this, or I'd be sitting and thinking all the time.
Yeah, you would never speak.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of do it, I guess, because I read off notes for the podcast, but like when I teach, good lord, every lecture.
Oh my god, every lecture.
We would never get any shows done. So
That's true.
So he would sit and think if he had said anything wrong. He would think about whether his teachings were sound. And this idea of self-reflection actually became a principle of happy science. He ran a company separate from the GLA, and my man Takahashi actually lived off of its profits. He took no money for his religious activities. I love that too.
Good
so
man.
He just did it for
No,
free.
that's really.
He died at America's bicentennial. Now that we're at 250 here, it was 1976. He was 48 years old. He was a young man, and his daughter took his place as the head of the GLA. The spirit Takahashi told Okawa that he would soon found a new religion. Ooh, how did he know that?
Oh no.
And Okawa subsequently channeled the spirits of, here we go, Kukai, Shinran, Confucius, Jesus, Moses, and Nostradamus. So we have a blend of Japanese, Chinese, and Western religious figures there.
Everyone is here.
Yeah, and it's crazy because now we're going to talk about it. I did watch Laws of the Sun, and in Laws of the Sun, for some reason, Isaac Newton's there.
Yes, he's one of the guys, right?
Like,
Isaac Newton
why?
is one of the channeled.
Just
he's
a
one of
guy.
the elevated spirits, isn't he? Mm-hmm. He's the incarnation of of an elevated spirit. Why not?
Why not?
I
It's
gotta
like
say,
the Avengers all over again.
It really is, Bims.
it is. Yeah, Super Friends. So who are they on South Park? Is the Super Friends Club? Something
Super
like
best
that.
friends.
Super best friends. Buddha
Yeah.
and Jesus and Allah.
Yeah.
Or Muhammad, right?
Muhammad.
And that's why they had to take it off the air.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Moses was there. Moses was like a screen.
Let me make a special note about Nostradamus. Just the fact that as a child of the 90s, like if, I grew up in a convenience store, and many listeners have listened closely, I've heard this. And so we would always have the tabloids, right, in the, facing the door when you came in, just like at the register. And the Weekly World News, you guys ever seen the Weekly World News?
I loved
Bat
that
Boy,
shit.
right? UFOs. Often it was about the predictions of Nostradamus. This is a huge, new age pop culture merging in the late 90s. And so I really think for Japan, it was largely Okawa who was trading on the name and the lore of Nostradamus to predict apocalyptic events in much the same way. If you read the Weekly World News or read it, right, in the 90s, you would have seen that the world is ending according to Nostradamus.
Oh yeah, the world ended like every month.
Yeah.
Constantly. Yeah, Bat Boy came and took us all out. Takahashi was named as Okawa's guiding spirit for his first public talk in 1986. So he's got all these guys talking through him, but the early guys are Nico, Nishiren, and Takahashi. So it's 1986 that we have our first public talk. So let's walk through a little bit more of the backstory, though, before we get to 1986. In 1982, Okawa moved to New York, where he studied English and finance, and if he had gone down to Trenton, New Jersey, could have encountered an infant yours truly. Maybe
So close
he
to
did.
greatness. Yeah.
So
Maybe
close.
he did. Maybe he just passed by the hospital and issued a blessing. Someday this man will share news of
We'll
me
have
with
a
the world.
podcast.
Yes, and tell America about me.
It's all been leading to this very moment.
Right here we
Yeah.
are. It all comes together.
Life is a circle.
He dropped out of his program at NYU after a year, went back to Tokyo. He transferred to Nagoya to work in banking, and he published his first book, Nishirin Shonen no Raigen, The Miraculous Signs of Nishirin. He published this under a pseudonym. Again, my man is a banker. So, gotta be careful. But he's not... I say he's a banker, but he's not... He's a special banker. Mims, you laughed here. You're going to laugh harder. He confronted coworkers about the demons possessing them. And offered to exorcise their demons.
I need to start doing that.
just walking around the store.
Yeah, no,
Exactly. No,
I
like-
work with some nerds, but like if somebody came up to me and was like, I'm going to exorcise your demons.
Well, they start
No,
with
thank
telling
you.
Oh, but Mara
You got
is
all these
possessing
demons in ya.
Yeah. You got this hungry ghost. You got an Oni in you there.
You gotta get that out.
So, but he wasn't fired. He quit in July 1986 to found Happy Science. Maybe he was strongly encouraged to quit. Who knows? He began
Most likely.
Yeah, no, that
Could have been
Japan
an
is
excellent
known
banker.
for like not firing people.
It just lets you make you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah,
put
they
him in
just
the
literally
basement,
will just like put you in a room, do
took
nothing
away
all
his
day.
stapler.
Yeah.
He began
man.
publishing volumes of his spiritual messages then, and this sort of like grew Happy Science. So it began with about 100 people in its first year, but by the end of 1988, there were 4,000 members. The actress and singer Ogawa Tomoku was one of Happy Science's most significant celebrity converts, and she sang at their events. In 91, it's like Tom Cruise, right, in Scientology.
I was just
Yeah,
about
yeah,
to
I
say,
was
is
about
it
to
like
say.
Tom Cruise? I can say words.
Or John Travolta. Poor John Travolta.
I mean, there is like a weird kind of connection of like, at the same time this is happening, the Western is creating Scientology.
Right, Shirley MacLaine and the channeling, right? Everybody's got to
Yeah.
have a celebrity if you're really going to make it big. So Ogawa Tomoku was their celebrity. And she's got a huge TV film. She's got a huge resume. Nothing
So
that
what you're
anybody's
saying
heard
is-
of, but
When I start my big new religious movement, I need to get a celebrity endorsement.
you need
Yeah.
to start there. Yeah, you might as well. Better
You gotta
start
get like
writing
Tom
emails.
Holland or something.
Perfect.
I feel like I can do better. I can do Tom Hollander. He's even more Tom Holland.
Yeah.
Go old school. Get somebody like Michael Caine. Then I would be impressed. Alfred. So the it's like 95 or something. So anyway, Ogawa Tomoku, we have not heard of the television film she's done, but in Japan, she's very famous. So in 1991, Okawa and Happy Science published The Great Warnings of Allah and The Terrifying Revelations of Nostradamus, accompanied by a massive national advertising campaign. These guys have money. They placed media ads, print ads, and billboards. Very American thing to do.
Yep.
Stick your religious message on a billboard.
On a billboard.
So
Now, are they as like intrusive as the ones here in the States?
probably I don't think you have to be. You should be like, Nostradamus predicted that the world is ending. Happy Science.
Happy Science.
You know, that's gonna grab you right by the throat, right?
It's like, oh, okay.
Just whoops.
The Buddha loves you. The world is ending. So
That's essentially what the American billboards say.
Yeah. I
guess it is, yeah.
Jesus loves you. You're going to hell.
yeah, got lust. For the first half of the year, these two books, Allah and Nostradamus, were the top sellers in Japan. Let me say that again. The Great Warnings of Allah and the Terrifying Revelations of Nostradamus, top sellers. Many books followed, mostly transcribed from Okawa's lectures, numbering roughly 300 by the middle of the decade and 2,000 today. So there was a lot of pop culture interest in him. Yeah, he was a celebrity. In July 91, let me pause for a second. I'm thinking like John Edward in the 90s, the medium. He had, crossing over, right? I think Okawa had that kind of quality. He was a prophet, and he was, churning out thousands of pages of prophecy. It was just a fascinating phenomenon. So in July 91, Happy Science held their first major event, which was the birthday festival at Tokyo Dome, one of the largest baseball arenas in the country, mentioned earlier. Here, in front of an audience of about 40,000, Okawa significantly reframed his role within the group. He said, "The one who stands before you is Okawa Ryuho, yet it is not Okawa Ryuho. Ooh. The one who stands before
Then
you."
who is it?
Who could it be?
I don't know.
I'll tell you. It is the eternal God's truth. El Cantare.
Gasp.
I don't really know how Okawa pronounced it, but El Cantare is supposed to be borrowed from the Italian, meaning God sings, or the song of God.
Yeah.
So you would pronounce it El Cantare.
But he probably did not pronounce it like that.
Well, he's Japanese, right? So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he would.
I feel like the R.
Yeah.
Cantale?
Probably.
Edu cantare?
Cantale.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
maybe.
probably close.
He said, "It is I who possess the highest authority on earth. It is I who have all authority from the beginning of the earth until the end. For I am not human, but am the law itself." At a large December event, he traded his business suit for a new costume. He took the stage in a golden robe and a crown, guys.
I'd do the same.
Yeah, fame did not get to his head.
No. So, let's talk a little bit about how Japan organizes religious groups, because it's interesting. They're organized in the same fashion as corporations.
Oh.
Huh.
You can
Very
choose...
Japan of them.
Yeah, they love corporations. Okawa chose to structure Happy Science more or less exactly like a publicly traded company. That's not required, but you are incorporated essentially as a religious corporation, no matter who you are. Aum Shinrikyo, right, would have had the same setup. But Okawa called himself the president, not anything, woo-woo or magical. He had a board of directors, there were divisions, departments, and sections. Albeit he did call himself El Cantare, but other than that, he was President El Cantare. And Rebirth of the Buddha, the Reborn Buddha, like the different anime show these religious leaders, often just in business suits. They just look like regular businessmen. Happy Science does not have believers, but rather they have members who are committed in theory to the scientific investigation of God's truth and the meaning of happiness. It's very theosophy in that way. We don't have a belief system. We have a project.
We're trying to figure out the belief system.
We want to find the truth. We are perpetually seeking the truth with a special focus on happiness. Initially, they appealed to young, well-educated people, evenly divided between genders, not unusual for new religious movements. We often think that the well-educated are too smart for this stuff, but actually they're the target demographic, yeah. It's hard to get those stake-handling cults in Tennessee to join up, man. They've already got their thing.
Yeah, they're already doing their own thing. It's fine.
You got to go to the college campuses if you really want to recruit. So the initiation ceremony involved pledging devotion to the three treasures, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, in front of a picture of Okawa. So the first part is very Buddhist, and the second part is
part's not.
Not very Buddha, unless you regard Okawa as the eternal Buddha.
Which, according to him,
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this represents a transition to a Buddhist religious organization, in contrast to the group's roots as a graduate school for life. So this is what happened over time. They went from being this very theosophical, non-denominational graduate school for life to being a distinctly Buddhist group, albeit with a very unique flavor of Buddhism.
Yeah.
In the early days, members worked together to study and make sense of Okawa's revelations. Early members had to read at least 10 of his books, and Okawa himself often read their applications to decide if they were suitable to join. It's essentially like a call confessions.
Yeah.
Although I don't make you guys submit applications, but...
And you do not read them.
I wouldn't if you did, no.
No.
Wait, you didn't read my application?
AI did it for me.
Oh, that makes sense.
That's right.
But it was a few years ago, so we didn't have ChatGPT. So by AI,
so it was really bad.
There's a guy named I that just sat in the back of the theater.
He was just like, okay, I'm reading this.
I waved it.
This guy seems good.
I waved it in front of my computer screen, and Savannah shouted from the back of the theater, "He's good." But the point I'm trying to make here is that I vet all the people who join us on the show, or Luke does, and this is the same for Okawa. The organization at the beginning is small enough that Okawa's personally doing this. He's not too good to do the grunt work. But over time, of course, this becomes impossible. An intensive residential training course followed, which was then replaced by graded seminars at the elementary, intermediate, and advanced levels. here's some basic ideas. There are 4 principles of happiness, also known as the Fourfold Path. Love, which has 6 variants. We're not going to do those because you're not going to remember them anyway. Wisdom of God's truth. Reflection on yourself, and development or spiritual progress. So let's go through those again. Love, which has many different flavors, right? We got romantic love and friendship and this sort of stuff. Wisdom of God's truth. Reflection on yourself. You can see that GLA influence. And spiritual progress. Those are the 4 main principles of happiness. If we're doing those 4 things, we're good. I've solved all your problems. I can save you guys millions of dollars on therapy. Happy Science adds the Buddhist Eightfold Path and the avoidance of extremes to this list as a means to achieve progress. Members also read Buddhist sutras and attend training courses, seminars, and ceremonies. The festivals are for the spring and autumn equinoxes, as well as Okawa's birthday in July and the El Cantare Festival in December. Now, what's the difference between Okawa's birthday and the El Cantare Festival, since Okawa is El Cantare? I don't know.
I don't know. He just felt like he needed something in December.
So an important time marker for this era is the death of the Showa emperor. Japan marks its time periods by the emperors, as you know, Mims and Julian both know. So you have the Showa era, right? And then what comes? I don't know what comes. Who's the next guy? I'm not going to force you guys. If you know off the top of your head.
It's democracy now.
It's 90s. Well, I know, but it's true in the 80s, right? But we still mark it by the life of the emperor. So Showa died in 1989. So a collector of Japanese intricacies like yours truly, I care about, is this a Showa item or is it a post-Showa? But so this is also like a pivotal moment for Japan. It's 1989. How would I say this? Like, there's a lot of ways to say this. So the death of the Showa emperor, he's not, as Julian's pointing out, a political leader. So it's not like there's a major, shift because he died. But he happens to die at a moment in Japanese history when the economic miracle is pretty much ending. We can just do this with VCRs and cars and stuff like Sony, Toyota, Mitsubishi, Nintendo. Like the major corporations really shine and fly and conquer in the 70s through the 80s. Nintendo is sort of like one of the last ones. And then as we get into the 90s, like my video game nerds will know that Sega, which is also Japanese, is initially the competitor, but then, we begin to branch out. The industry, starts to fracture into lots of different pieces. The same is true of car manufacturer VCRs. The economic miracle begins to wane. So 89 is a major turning point. And it's also a turning point in happy science. In the beginning of 89, Okawa delivered a series of lectures that served as the basis for the friendship system. This is Happy Science's attempt to become huge, and this is Mims's discount here.
You had me at friendship system,
but it's a discounted friendship, Mims. Even better.
Oh, yeah, even better.
Cheaper than a fraternity membership. A lot of things are cheaper than a fraternity membership.
Most things are.
Well, yeah, marriage, for example. Members could join by subscribing to the magazine, potentially swelling the group's ranks, while the more involved participants would be full members in contrast to these friendship members. So if you were just subscribing to the National Geographic, right, you would now be a full member of the National Geographic Society. I think it actually is that way.
Yeah.
Which just goes to show you how fancy the National Geographic Society is.
I just need to become
you just
more
become
part
like
of more
a
societies.
partial member.
But now this is true of Happy Science. All you have to do is subscribe to the magazine, and you're in, buddy. You did it.
Good job.
You've mastered Happy Science. Essay exams were replaced by an annual multiple choice exam, sort of like the SAT, with the leading scores.
They've gone down.
We published the leading scores in the magazine, just like Nintendo Power. The group's entry fee was dropped, and the annual membership dues reduced to only 1,000 yen, Mims.
It's like, what, $10?
About there,
Less?
yeah.
Yeah.
Less, yeah, it's...
I mean, even in the 90s.
It's cheap. Yeah, it would be, even less than that back then.
Even less.
So, the group grew quickly and spread throughout Japan. At one point, Okawa planned to construct a 77-story building that would have been the largest building in Japan.
Oh, shit.
In downtown Tokyo. But this happened at a moment when negative press had begun to accumulate around the group, and so they had to reconsider. Instead, they chose to spend their money on regional centers. I know, isn't that a shame? That would have been so cool.
Could you imagine the largest building in Tokyo being the Happy Science? It's kind of like the Scientology building in LA. Like,
Yeah.
That's
They got cash. Or if you go to DC, the Bloody Mormon Temple when you're going around the circle. The Beltway. So Happy Science pegged itself as a rival to Aum Shinrikyo, and Okawa was targeted by Asahara, whose followers attempted to inject a nerve gas into the ventilation system in his car. Yes.
shit.
Okawa was one of the, dozen targeted victims of Aum Shinrikyo. So we I don't know if I've probably mentioned him already on the show because we did an episode on Aum Shinrikyo. The association with Aum Shinrikyo brought attention to Happy Science. So insofar as they didn't kill him, this was actually a good thing for Okawa. But it also lumped them in with the group as one of Japan's potentially dangerous cults. So I want you to consider this less than fair line from a New York Times article about the group. This was written all the way in the COVID era. In the mid-1990s, says the Times, Happy Science's rivalry with another doomsday group, Aum Shinrikyo, took an ugly turn. Aum first tried to assassinate Mr. Okawa, then later launched an attack on the Tokyo subway with sarin nerve gas, killing 13 and injuring thousands.
that's so unfair.
Isn't it, right?
Because they did nothing. They were just doing their thing, and this other rival group just was like, you're involved now.
Just congratulations.
And this is an article about Happy Science, right? So although they were, as Jillian's saying, completely uninvolved in Aum Shinrikyo's activities, except that time Okawa innocently was targeted by them.
Yeah, was a victim.
The New York Times seemed to combine the two organizations as doomsday cults with a dark side. In truth, Happy Science moves in and out of interest in the apocalypse. It's true, they do have some end, by Nostradamus and Allah, right? They do have some end times things going on. However, they really do have like moods where they stop caring about the apocalypse for like years. It's a feature of their ministry, but the same can be said for many Christian denominations, right? Concerned at the end times.
It's just like, sometimes it's a big deal, sometimes
It's like the Mayan calendar thing, like,
right, yeah.
it comes and goes, the rapture.
Certainly they are nothing like Aum Shinrikyo in attempting to bring about the apocalypse, which was, Asahara's plan. That having been said, Happy Science has not been averse to propagating controversial claims, so we've just defended them, but now I'm going to have to drop some uncomfortableness about them. The most famous include the claim that China and North Korea are plotting a nuclear attack on Japan. Not entirely implausible, but not based on any evidence. And during the COVID pandemic, they claimed that, this is going to start to get icky, that they had a spiritual vaccine against the disease. Quoting the Times again, according to Happy Science, the virus was created as a bioweapon by the Chinese government in Wuhan. The jury's still out on that, right?
Yeah, I was about to say, it's mostly believed in the U.S. too.
Yeah, I think Jon Stewart believes that to be true.
Yeah.
And then, quoting the Times some more, in a twist, it was unleashed by a UFO to punish the communists for their godless ways. All right, so that part, I don't know. I don't know that Jon Stewart believes it.
Messing with the communists at that point.
It has spread to other lands that lack true faith. So it's a punishment. It's God's punishment.
It's not the first time Happy Science has done stuff with, like, true punishments.
Also, not the first time I've heard COVID as a punishment.
Yeah. I shouldn't say God's punishment. I should say extraterrestrials' punishment. Like the chick from Species. Yeah. So, Okawa's son Hiroshi became disenchanted by his father's teachings and quit the organization, accusing Okawa of spouting nonsense to his members. Hiroshi had been a significant participant in the group's music and movie production and turned to YouTube to denounce his father. So he wielded his skills he'd honed at Happy Science.
It's like those ex-Mormons who go on YouTube and they were like, this is what I did in the church.
Yeah, but it's his dad. I think his mom as well. Hiroshi's mom also turned against Okawa. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah, they got a divorce.
So what do you know about this? So Okawa got a divorce from his wife, and Hiroshi was their son.
Yeah.
So do you know more about this, Julian? Because I had a little trouble chasing this down.
It was basically like, because the entire thing about him and his wife was like they were like the twin flames sort of thing. Mm-hmm. Like they were meant for each other. They were like the big gods, and then suddenly he got a divorce. I don't know exactly like why they got a divorce.
Because he wasn't big into the women and he wasn't like he wasn't that kind of
no,
cult
he wasn't
leader.
a creep.
Yeah,
but it was just, marriage fades after a while.
Yeah,
I didn't hear anything like super like dope about it.
Maybe she just got bored with listening to all those Nostradamus predictions.
Yeah, or just fights between them, probably about happy science.
But Hiroshi's complaint, from what I could tell, is just that Dad is full of BS, and not really that Dad's like hurting anybody. He's just like full of nonsense.
They just don't like him.
Yeah, he's just wasting
Probably
his
the
time.
same thing the wife was about. She just didn't like it.
What were you gonna say, Mims?
No, I was just about to say, like, yeah, no, so, like, sometimes you just look for an excuse to call out your dad's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's just family stuff. It
Everybody
feels like
does.
family stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's get on to the topic I think we've all been waiting for here. Anime.
Yay!
Yay!
This Happy Science is, if nothing else, at least on the spare life that it has on the internet and YouTube, and this isn't a very well covered group, I think. Certainly not, like, already we're 42 minutes in. Like, I think we've probably talked about Happy Science for a Western audience more than most anybody. Am I right, Julian? Right, like an actual analysis.
Mostly when people talk about Happy Science, they just talk about the animes and how weird they are. They don't actually talk about the history of the organization.
But you have to contextualize it all. Or the animes are profoundly strange and difficult to parse.
They are very crazy.
Yeah, but when you put it in the context of what they're doing, it starts to make at least a bit more sense.
Yeah.
So
Not a whole lot, just a little bit.
A little bit.
Just a little bit.
We must not forget that Okawa's great skill is creating an organization that turns a profit. He makes a lot of money at this.
He does make a lot of money.
And in my opinion, now Julian, you can correct me having researched this, I don't think he's really grifting. I think he's, and by that I mean, whatever we want to believe about his predictions and revelations, he's working pretty hard. Like, he's turning out a lot of books, and he's charging a fair price, in my opinion, for these.
I don't think he's ever tried to, like, cheat people out of their money. He just, I don't know if he necessarily actually believed in the stuff he said, but he did put a lot of effort into the things he wrote and into Happy Science, for sure.
What I'm suggesting, like Asahara, for example, Shoko Asahara would be like, give me all your money, right? Like, all your worldly possessions.
He was not worried about that.
But Okawa never asks you to give up all your possessions and your money. He's just like, for the low price of 1,000 yen, you can see whatever I've written this week.
The Wish organization of Japan.
Right, yeah. It's a bargain basement situation. Yeah. But he's quite good at this, right? Like, he creates a mass movement where, those little 1,000 yen payments add up. So he has a crap ton of money to spend, and he is not Aum Shinrikyo, so he's not terrifying. He's just a little weird.
Yeah,
and with
he's
a lot
approachable.
Of money.
Yeah.
So he can do what almost, to my mind, no new religious movement in Japan could do in this era, which is call up Toei Animation and say, I will buy one movie, please. Here is the script.
I forgot that they got Toei.
Yes.
No, like it's
Multiple
very
times, Miss.
well animated, too.
They're excellent. Yes, they're really, I mean, I take issue with some of the CGI at the end, but yes. There are moments, Julian, but yes, I think they're very well done. Some of the moments are quite lovely, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the anime. So they funded these themselves. They called Toei Animation and they said, here's $1 million. Make me a movie. Here's the script, basically. Now, I've seen 2 of these movies. Julian, you've seen 5 of them?
I've seen 5.
Good night, nurse. See, have you seen the Hermes one?
Yeah, I have. That one's crazy.
I covet that one. Yeah, that's the one I didn't get to. I was like, I decided to watch the rebirth of the Buddha instead because it was more on topic. So I have to say that the message and the morality of these movies, while to the YouTube commenter, like, oh, these are bizarre, but it's relatively mainstream.
Yeah.
Really. Buddhism is awesome, number 1. People should be less selfish, number 2.
Yeah.
Cool.
Pretty much.
All good.
Buddhism's good. Don't be a dick.
Where it gets weird is the details, which can even be relatively confusing from a theological standpoint.
When I rewatched Laws of the Sun, I like for the first 20 minutes, I had to keep pausing because I was like, what the fuck are they saying?
Yes.
There are these people living on Venus who are elves but have cattails.
Hold that thought, Julian. We will go to Venus. We're going to Venus,
Sold.
I promise.
We're going to Venus.
I want to start with the rebirth of the Buddha because I think more than any other production of theirs, it captures the mythology they have of themselves. Mm-hmm. Would you say that's fair, Julian?
Yeah, that's pretty fair.
So what's perplexing to my mind is that these are Buddhist productions with a Buddhist message that contain content that is not especially Buddhist.
Not Buddhist at all.
Yeah, so The Rebirth of Buddha was produced in 2009. It tells the story of rival claimants to the role of the titular reborn Buddha. So 2 guys could be the Buddha. Which one is it? Okay. We need to go. We start with who do we start with? Who would be the protagonist?
Who do you
of this?
think we start with?
Mims, what is anime? Now this is it, right? This is a classic anime. How old is the protagonist?
I'm going to guess about 15 or 16 years old.
17.
Sits in the back
17.
left
You did a
side
great
of the
job.
classroom.
Exactly right. Yeah, 17-year-old schoolgirl. That is our protagonist. So Sayako happens to have a college-age boyfriend named Yuki. He's a real dreamboat. Involved.
Oh, scandalous.
Yeah, he's involved in the rivalry between these would-be Buddhas. So, Julian, you can fill in any details you want. I tried to summarize this as much as possible. She sees the afterlife trial of an atheist journalist who committed suicide for some reason because she's a psychic medium. So she's a psychic medium. She's obsessed with this journalist. She wants to be like him. And she somehow sees his trial in the afterlife. And his trial in the afterlife doesn't go well, by the way, because he's an atheist. The ghost of this journalist nearly drags her onto the subway tracks to be hit by a train.
This actually happens.
Before her perfectly human but remarkably ever-present boyfriend, Yuki, saves her. And they never explain how he's just always there.
Is it just like a tuxedo mask kind of situation?
Yes, he
just
is
like
tuxedo
dude
mask.
pops up out of nowhere?
Yes.
He's just always there.
A rose
Just any
shut down.
moment that she's about to like go through some sort of peril, he's there.
The Dharma wheel fell onto the tracks. And then he was there, up in the rafters.
That's just how I am with faith. I mean,
I love
Yeah.
that. I love every day when you come home, the rose arrives first.
Exactly. No, like every time that like she steps out in front of a train, I'm there to pull her out.
Yeah.
But you make a big deal about it.
Oh, of course.
With capes and things.
Yeah.
So Sayako decides to break up with Yuki after he saves her life and interview the leader of an evil cult.
Yeah. Guess why not?
This is why she does this. The judges at the spiritual trial that she'd somehow magically witnessed had revealed to the atheist journalist that there was a reborn Buddha on Earth, but they left out who the reborn Buddha was. So, Sayako decided... Yeah, you don't want to give that away because that'd ruin the whole story. Sayako decided it had to be the man who she had seen on TV use his psychic power to save an interviewer on television by keeping a light from dropping on his head. During, I think, an earthquake or something.
Yeah. Either that or like a tsunami.
This guy's name is Arai. The tsunami comes later.
Oh, that's right.
Also, by the way, people keep seeing UFOs everywhere, but don't worry about that. That's just
There's
happening.
aliens everywhere.
Just UFOs all over the place. So Arai is a spiritual teacher. He teaches that people must overcome their own weakness, they must have faith in their egos, and they must achieve their own telekinetic abilities through obedience to him. Spoiler alert, he is not the Buddha.
Who would have guessed?
So,
What a surprise.
but Sayako doesn't know that. So she is rescued by her boyfriend yet again from Arai's lecture, where she starts to have an unpleasant psychic episode with the negative mojo that Arai is generating in his audience during this talk about being selfish and, obeying him.
Which is a weird, connection with all the movies. They always have this weird, negative energy, darkness seeping out of the
clouds.
ground. Yeah.
She had hoped Arai could explain her mediumistic experiences, but instead, her little brother, who tagged along to the lecture, was now possessed. Oops.
Oh, no.
Whoops.
He had this big, goiter. It was gross. Her brother ends up in the hospital, and Yuki and his cool cult friends show up. One of them, my favorite character.
Like the snapping.
Yeah, they're so cool. My favorite character in this whole movie is an Australian exchange student
Oh my god.
who's like a surfer dude. And the other is a female reporter who Sayako admires. She admires all these reporters. The group is going to get their spiritual master, Surano, El Cantare, Surano, he's got that Italian name, to save the boy. Surano arrives and drives the spirit into the Australian, so the Australian becomes possessed by the evil
So now
spirit.
the Australian's evil.
Yes. But he did this on purpose. Yeah, the Australian signed up for this. He's the Crocodile Dundee of this movie. He takes one for the team.
He had it coming.
He knew it was coming,
Had it
yeah.
coming.
And so he's possessed by the evil spirit. What was I talking about? Serrano. So the spiritual master, Buddha number 2, shows up to the hospital, goes to the little boy, gets the spirit out of him, puts the spirit inside the Australian guy, talks to the spirit, but the spirit doesn't want to go. Serrano counsels him that if he gives up the poisons of greed, anger, and foolishness, something I tell my children every morning, he can get free of hell without possessing someone. I also say that. They don't know what I mean. Stop
What are
all
you
this
talking
greed.
about, Dad?
This greed, anger, and foolishness. Get free of hell before you possess someone. The spirit leaves, but tells Serrano that his master has already launched his evil plan. Oops. While he's at the hospital, by the way, Buddha number 2, Serrano tells Sayako's dad, who happens to be a doctor, that he's dying of cancer. There's a lot going on.
Your son was possessed. He also has cancer. Sorry.
The son
Did
is
they
healed.
find that out because of the possession? Or
Okay, so the kid's
Did
possessed.
the possession cause the cancer?
No, this is a separate event. The doctor was already knew that he had cancer. He was just hiding it from his family. He, in fact, has 6 months to live. But Serrano tells him he can still cure his mind and soul. I think this is suggesting that the doctor can, go to the Pure Land, not necessarily that he can survive the cancer, although it's sort of implied that it's possible to survive the cancer. I don't really know. But this is just like this is not the plot, right? The doctor is...
This is just a side plot. Yeah.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with the Buddha.
Sayako and the kid, this is their dad, is this doctor who's not into religious stuff, but when he watches this miraculous exorcism,
He has
Buddha
a
number
coming
2,
to light moment.
Yeah.
He's like, I need to tell my son.
Yeah, and Serrano's like, you're dying of cancer, and he's like, oh, how did you know? You're magic.
Oh no.
So, anyway, what were we doing? The UFOs attack Earth. you thought
I
this
should
was
have guessed.
just a polite
That's
family
the
drama.
next step, of course.
They're going to this festival. I don't know. It's a specific Japanese festival. They're all outside. There's goldfish that you fish out of the water. And they're attacked by UFOs in the middle of this Japanese festival. So it's Yuki and the little brother and Sayako are, they're all dressed in kimonos, right? And going to this traditional Japanese festival. And then the UFOs attack. Damn it.
Oh, damn it.
They've got red lasers. So they hit.
That's how you know they're evil.
Yeah. You're not messing around. You got the blue lasers. Might be okay. So they hit Sayako point blank. But she's okay. She's just fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Because she can conjure magical lotus petals that make them go away.
Of course.
Yeah. Every, teenager.
They were somehow conjured or otherwise encouraged by Arai, Buddha number 1. Probably they were just an illusion, but the damage seems pretty genuine in the city around them. A series of Serrano lectures gets at a couple of key principles. So now we stop and just like sit at a new religious movement lecture.
Yeah, pretty much.
After
That's
the
how
UFO
almost
attack.
all of them kind of end. Is just
gotta
like,
have that.
okay, we've had a lot of lore. Now you get like the principle of the movie.
So let's get a little bit of how Happy Science is projecting its message here in the midst of all this melodrama and weird, UFO phenomena. A selfless, loving existence renders this world a kind of paradise. Serrano says, and I quote, "Know that the real state of this world is shining bright. It is beautiful beyond anything." Second principle, a lack of belief in the afterlife can lead people to live selfishly, I should say. Now, here, in my opinion, is where the theology gets a little tricky. The Buddha, as far as we know, didn't comment on the afterlife much, and most scholars believe that he felt his followers shouldn't really think about the afterlife. When one of his disciples asked him, "Buddha, what happens in the afterlife? What happens when you achieve nirvana?" He was like, "Yeah, don't worry about that. That's not your problem right now.
You'll figure it out when you get there.
Get free of attachment. Yeah, don't worry about it." The fact that these truths are coming through a Japanese NRM-style lecture is also telling, though. The movie implicitly communicates that joining a new religious movement is good for you. It might be the movement of the reborn Buddha, after all. It could just as easily be the evil Buddha, but
But
the
let's
anti-Buddha.
not
That's
get into
neither here
that.
nor there.
Yeah. People will say that you're losing your marbles when you join a new religious movement, but you should ignore them. Yuki, for example, worried that his commitment to the cult leader, the good Buddha Serrano, would drive others away, particularly his girlfriend Sayako, but it turns out that it only brought them closer together. The romance at the center of this quasi-Buddhist story is also kind of strange, since the Buddha kind of left his wife and child temporarily to find enlightenment and believed that any form of attachment needed to be overcome rather than nurtured, but...
And that was brought up in another movie.
It's so weird. Or do they do that in the Laws?
In Laws of the
at
Laws of
the
the
end,
Sun.
that huge
Yeah,
Buddhist
because
segment.
the
Yeah.
demon came in and was like, "Oh, but you left your father and your mother and your wife and kids
That's
to go
right,
sit under this
yeah.
tree."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, you're the devil."
Back to Arai, he conjures evil anti-Buddha, I should say, conjures a tsunami because the UFOs didn't work. And if everyone obeys him, he says, he's now on the news media, he's taken over the cameras, he's taken over the media. If everyone obeys him, he will save them with his psychic powers. However, the tsunami isn't really coming. It's just an illusion.
Oh no. Who would have ever thought?
Oh, that's perfect, Mims. It's just an illusion that Arai is sending through television screens. He's Mara incarnated, or he's possessed by a medieval Japanese demon or something. Yeah. Sayako gets in front of television cameras because she's famous now for saving everybody from UFOs. Remember with the lotus petals?
Yeah.
Of course.
So everybody wants to put her on TV. And she tells people that they've been lied to about the tsunami and it's really an illusion. If viewers can just get control of their minds, they can stop the tsunami. And we see this montage of people like stopping to pray.
Yeah, they just all just like, oh.
It's just like the frickin' Goku doing a spirit bomb, except pray into the right Buddha.
There is also a lot of praying in these movies.
On a mass scale, Mims.
There's so much prayer.
So a bunch of people get the message, stop to pray, and they purge all fear from Japan for a little while. What's interesting is that the teenage Sayako gets all the credit, and not Serrano, the reborn Buddha. I like this, actually, because the mythology that El Cantare has of himself here, he's supposed to, like, Serrano's supposed to be him, is that his followers are supposed to be the star, right? He's supposed to be in the background, but he clearly is the badass Buddha.
Yeah, he's...
Arai kidnaps the girl and brings her to a baseball stadium, because we love baseball stadiums,
It's Japan. We love baseball.
and tries to get her to tell everyone that he is Buddha. Although he threatens to blow up the whole stadium, Sayako says that Serrano is the Buddha, not Arai. And Serrano descends from the ceiling to tell Arai to stop being such a jerk. An intense Japanese demon comes out of Arai. I say Japanese specifically because he's dressed like a medieval like samurai.
Yeah.
And does, it's been pretty badass, Mims, and does battle with Serrano on the baseball field. Serrano appears riding a white elephant, which is part of Buddhist lore. A white elephant was supposed to have gone into the queen before she gave birth to the Buddha, Sakyamuni Buddha. So he defeats the demon from atop the white elephant with a giant pentacle. Mm-hmm. Just because.
Just, throw that one in there.
Kind of badass.
It's a lot of these movies, they're so fascinating because a lot of them are just like, this thing from your religion, it's here now.
Yeah, Western religion is allowed to play.
Yeah.
Arai is given the opportunity to reflect and change and become a child of the Buddha. CGI angels are everywhere. They get hold of some monks praying in some kind of dark hole for some reason and are brought up to heaven.
It's so weird.
We've never seen these monks before. The angels' Mims are not animated the way any of the rest of the movie is.
No.
They literally are CGI and they look like cheap CGI, like Toei, like they ran out of money, right? Like
it's literally like early 2000s CGI, like Shark Boy and Lava Girl level CGI. It's bad.
Yes, like Toei called up Okawa and they were like, "Listen, man, you're down to your last 10 grand, and we got to do this whole scene with the angels. Is it all right if we just like phone it in?" And he was like, "Yeah, do whatever, just finish it."
Yeah, whatever. It's fine. It's the end of the movie.
So Sayako and Yuki kiss. The movie more or less ends. Okay.
Beautiful.
Right. So I need to rent out like a movie theater.
Oh yeah, we should do this
and watch them all.
This should be our interactive movie of the week at the theater. Okay,
Can we? Even if it's just like
it's just
a small group of people. Can we just watch this in the Todd?
I'm open to it. Yeah, it's a nice big theater, nice big screen. We'll get some popcorn. Okay, so let's do a little analysis from the standpoint of people who now know about this religion as opposed to, whatever happens on YouTube. I want to say that this movie was produced in 2009 and seems intensely preoccupied with the rivalry between Happy Science and Aum Shinrikyo, despite the fact that the latter group had been stripped of its status as a religion and gone bankrupt by this point following the sarin gas attack on the Tokyo subway. I also have to say, it's 2009. Asahara is in prison and will eventually be executed for his crimes. He's dead. He died. He was executed, as well as, I think, like 6 or so members of
his highest members.
Which was, I think, a bit unusual for Japan as well. They don't execute a whole lot of people.
No, they don't. It was very, weird for its time to execute that many people, but also it got a lot of media coverage, especially in the world of after 9/11.
It's not the case that Asahara is the only rival for Happy Science and Okawa. Soka Gakkai is another rival, but he does not nearly resemble the life and death struggle depicted in Buddha Reborn. This is super evil, controlling the media. This is very much meant to be Asahara and Aum Shinrikyo, an organization that's on the balls of its butt. It's not gone, though. I don't want to say, because Aum Shinrikyo has persisted as not one but 2 terrorist organizations, the properly labeled terrorist organizations in Japan, I think internationally. But it looks nothing like the popular movement that it was in the 90s, which is what Arai, was representing. Nor does it look like the personality cult of Arai portrayed in the movie. If nothing else, the reborn Buddha shows Happy Science's very un-Buddhist inability to let their rivalry with Aum Shinrikyo go. It also shows the degree to which Happy Science sought to use Aum to position themselves as the righteous defenders of the good. They're the Darth Vader to the Luke Skywalker. Yeah.
It was very much like, hey, these guys that we're kind of associated with, we're better than them.
Yeah, with the sarin gas attack, it's like, Darth Vader is what makes Luke Skywalker cool, right? Without Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker isn't cool.
Luke Skywalker's just a guy.
Right. But what happens when Darth Vader is arrested and put in prison for the, 5 out of 6 movies? That doesn't make for very good entertainment.
No.
But this is what happened to Okawa. His Darth Vader was stolen from him. And it's odd to regard it that way, but that's essentially this movie makes it feel like that is how they feel. Yeah. Their other rivalry with Japanese journalists is also not far from the surface, with the suicide of the atheist materialist reporter at the beginning and the conversion of Sayako's idol to the true religion of Serrano. The media are weak and gullible in the face of Arai and require Serrano and the schoolgirl Sayako to find their way back. It's a little embarrassing, right, that a 17-year-old like high school reporter
is able to
crack through this. Okay. So, journalists, they're not big fans of course, Aum Shinrikyo. Okay, I'm going to put a pin in today's meeting. This conversation about happy science, it probably shouldn't surprise any of you, is going to end up stretching to 2 episodes. So that's it for today. We've crossed that hour mark, and we're going to come back with another installment, the second part of Happy Science. Cult or not a cult? Here on Occult Confessions.